Greetings humanity, and welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I am Jim, I use he, him pronouns, and this is The Outer Veil, one of the story arcs in our Waking Nightmares campaign of Don't Rest Your Head, a game by Fred Hicks of Evil Hat Productions. This is a supernatural horror game in which the Insomniac characters have been awake for so long they've developed strange abilities and can freely interact with a realm of living nightmares. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus, but we're back with this storyline. Also, I have been having all manner of audio issues over the last several weeks. Last Monday, apparently, with the other group, some of the group was on a delay that I wasn't aware of until after the stream. Do let us know if you hear anyone out of sync. I would very much appreciate it. If anyone out in the audience would let us know if there are any audio issues or what have you. They're going to put something about audio handling on my tombstone. I can just feel it. This is coming up. But before we get into more delightfully morbid stuff, let's go ahead and go around and say hi to everybody, find out who they are and who they're playing. As you may have noticed, we have another guest with us. We will get to that. But we will start today, as always, with Krimsin. Hello.
Hey y'all, I'm Crimsin Galaxy. That's Krimsin, because I'm not me without a little bit of sin. My pronouns are they, them, she, and they, and today I'm playing Katrina Wales, a homeless musician who kind of stayed up out of necessity and is now deep in the underbelly of the Mad City.
Indeed. And now we will move on to Ace. Hello.
Hello, I am Ace, and I am finally back since I wasn't here last game. And I play Cal, they, them, who does Tarot for Fun, has a couple of secrets, and who knows what'll happen next with what's going on in the Mad City here.
Yes. Many things are about to happen, and I'm delighted to see them unfold. But next, we will head over to Cassa. Hello.
Hello, I'm Cassa, and I play Tamsin Zhao. She's your run-of-the-mill assistant journalist who's trying to get the next big scoop, and hopefully she can write a good story about what happens here in the Mad City.
You never know.
Maybe she'll become a famous Mad City writer.
Yes. You'll only have a few other newspapers to compete against. I'm sure everything will be fine. Everything will be just fine. They won't come after you at all. But
they wouldn't dare.
They wouldn't dare. Never. And finally, I'm very delighted to once again introduce our guest for this session, Alyx. Hello.
I am Alyx, pronouns they, them, and I am here playing a nightmare named the Host, a hedonistic creature that sparkles like a bottomless lake.
I cannot wait to see what you do with this character. I really can't. I've been anticipating this entire arc. So this is going to be fun. But before we jump in, as a reminder, like we do with the other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know that we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anybody needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game has the potential for discussions of physical and mental debilitation, insomnia, death, law enforcement, nightmares, body horror, being stalked and chased by supernatural beings, and other horrific themes. The game has mechanics related to states arising from sleep deprivation, referred to in-game as exhaustion, madness, scars, and fight-or-flight responses, but places the expression of those states squarely in the hands of the players. If you want to see that at any time, you can type !DRYH, that's for Don't Rest Your Head, CW for content warning, and that'll show up in the chat. That's also on regular rotation, so that'll be popping up regularly in chat as we go. And finally, please remember we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game, and mental health is always more important. But we have a little bit of catching up to do. Many things have happened as we're hitting the 13th hour. We need to find out what happened to Cal. Among other things, as Cal was separated from the group, they went through when everyone went down into the subway to get to the market district, Cal vanished, going through their own little turnstile. The benefit of this being they didn't have to actually pay to get in. Everyone else, I will say, there was a bit of a quick... I didn't want to interrupt when Sarah was talking before about getting into the subway, but actually that did cost 1 coin each for the 3 of you that were there at the time. So you actually are going to be down to... I believe you're down to you're down 3 more coins. So 26, I think, is where you are. As far as wax coins go.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
6, yeah.
So... In any case, the group themselves, the rest of the group, they got on the subway after meeting another recently christened nightmare, Isabel, who we saw turn into a nightmare over on the inner circle. She helped them somewhat, directed them to a line. They were looking for the blue line. He directed them to some line or other that turned out to be one that had a little bit of dimensional trouble as it kept switching from place to place. And then they ran into a train eater that was down there sort of on the outskirts, and then they managed to find their way to the market district underground, being waylaid slightly by members of the press gang, who were out looking for Tyler, who was with them. They managed to evade those members of the press gang, and Isabel eventually having to stay behind to hold off Mr. Sphinx, who was there, the gentleman in the Victorian clothing who sort of looks rather like a dog or rat catcher, trying to and who has a tendency to try to catch people for the press gang. So Isabel stayed behind, held him and his shadowhounds off, at least for the time being, and they went into the crowd to conceal themselves, looking for essentially they're looking for a place commonly referred to as the Denny's. It's the name of the place is the Downfall. It is it's a place that the stranger told them about. That's a sort of a little sort of dine-in battle restaurant that folks can diner that folks can go to try to hide if they're willing to fight for their meal. Katrina consulted the lottery, a nightmare we've seen also in the inner circle before, a nightmare with a gambling problem. Their face is a roulette wheel. And made a little bet to find out where the Downfall is, and won. The lottery told Katrina, showing even a little map. It's like, okay, it's here right now. It's about to turn 13 though, so it's going to move probably. So you might want to hurry. And in the meantime, Tyler had been communicating with someone over his his earbud. That someone was one of the leaders of the press gang, potentially, Mr. Triplethwaite, trying to make some kind of a deal. Because he was interested in Tyler and Tyler's affinity for this thing called the emptiness. I can't remember if the stranger explained the emptiness to you folks or not. I think he might have. I think he said briefly that he didn't. I don't think he said exactly what it was, but that it's in the industrial district. I think he mentioned that.
Yeah. I remember he said if he wanted to pursue it, then he should go to the industrial district.
Yeah.
But he didn't really say exactly. It was something like because he hadn't slept for a long time. I remember.
Tyler hadn't
super long
slept for a very long time, and it was a thing where, I mean, that wasn't the source of his connection to the emptiness. It really had a lot to do with his business decisions and mixing that with his personal life and many things that were going on there. But at that point, Triplethwaite made a deal with him, told him, okay, tell you what, just try to manifest your ability. Because apparently he just wanted to show him something. He said, I won't even make you promise you have to come back. But if you try and manifest your ability, I will give you a way out immediately. But just you. Tyler's madness talent, as it turns out, is the ability to create a black hole. This is not an according to Hoyle, Einstein, second physicist bridge, per se. This is the nightmare equivalent. This is what, an impression of what a black hole might be. Tyler's impression in particular.
Rosenthal.
Is it Rosen? It was. I keep imagining it was like Einstein Rosen or something. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Einstein Rosenthal bridge. Yeah.
But no worries. I remember there were several different. I remember hearing several different versions, and I'm like, black hole. Yeah. Tyler went ahead and tapped into his madness talent for the first time, and that's not technically true. He was using the earbud to kind of tap into it secondarily, up until that point. But full on decided, okay, I'm going to take this emptiness that I'm seeing and I'm going to put it into that pawn shop over there. He was successful. Everyone was distracted by the fact that there's this little black hole opening up in this pawn shop. And a door swung open for Tyler. Tyler tried to get Tamsin's attention, but was immediately sucked out through the door because the deal was for him only. So I think Tamsin heard the door slamming shut, but that was about it. And the clock had struck 13, was striking 13 at that point. And so then the extraneous doors around vanished, and there is right now for this hour no way out of the Mad City. Now, before this happens, we need to find out what happened to Cal, as I said at the beginning of this strange little monologue. So, Cal is going to have been in a dark place. I don't mean this emotionally, although that can also be the case if we so desire. But, Cal emerged into darkness. It was very difficult to determine where you were. Weren't sure what was happening.
I've done this many times before and it's dark. I think it comes a bit more natural to Cal than it's been to try to use the sun card from their tarot cards and provide some light for themselves.
Yes, the sun card. We should try that, shouldn't we? Definitely. So, in an effort to dispel this darkness, this particular darkness, let me look really quickly at the associated stat here. 1 second. Because there's There's a thing. There's a thing I gotta look at. There it is. The pain is 8 for this particular darkness, as you're trying to dispel it. I would say to try to make the sun appear like you did before, that little sun that you had, I'm going to say you're probably going to need to roll for this one at least 4 madness dice.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what we're looking at.
I'm gonna roll 5 just in case.
Okay. You got 6 successes. I'm going to go ahead and roll my 8 pain. I got 3 successes, so you're very successful. Let's see what's dominating. Looks like pain's dominating. So, success, but pain is dominating. Quick note for everyone before I start saying more stuff happening. Does anyone want to use any of their hope coins to reduce their exhaustion or their or take check marks off of their off of their responses?
Thank you for the reminder, Jeb. I think I'm on my last response. Or I had already done my last one. So I'm gonna take a coin for that.
You would have had a second as you were, in your various spaces. If you wanted to take a quick breather to do that before the clock struck 13, that's also possible.
Okay, I'll spend 2.
Yeah, I'll spend 1 for a response.
Okay.
I'm gonna lower my exhaustion by 1, and I will spend 1 for a response. Even though I don't want to, but they're
whatever you want to
out.
do. It's up to you, really.
When we spend the coins, do we just place it away, or do we?
Yeah, you just place it away. I get despair coins when pain dominates, so it's no big deal. You just throw them back down back down into the darkness below. Okay. So, pain is dominating here. So, what you note is that when you create this little sun, it pops up out of the card once again. It does. You are able to see, but it's like the darkness. Some of the darkness goes flooding into it, and the sun is looking kind of dim. So it is working. But the card itself is feeling... It's feeling like it's kind of almost... I don't want to say the card is burning up exactly, but the surface of the card, it looks like there's this sort of darkness oozing from one corner of the card now. It's starting to come across it. You are in a place that on first glance, it looks kind of like you're in a medieval city of some kind, but it is very dark here. Shadow drips from every building.
Well, when the shadow crawls on the card, I try to shake the card and flick it away like it's water. I'm guessing that doesn't work for it. Well, yeah, I mean, that'll slow it down a little bit, maybe. As you some of the excess shadow bleeding off, but it's still kind of there and slowly creeping onto the card. And you look around, it's like you're in some kind of a marketplace, it looks like.
You don't see any people. And the buildings, again, are very hard to see. But you have like a sort of a center square with a fountain that some sort of liquid is dripping out of. There are what looks like a few little sort of thatched roofed open faced stores that you don't see anybody inside. There's sort of booths and stalls that seem empty and bereft of anything at the moment.
So I'll just walk past the stalls while just continuously looking but not stopping until I see anyone at all.
Okay. You wander for some time. You're not sure how long it takes before you start to see something, and every now and then as you go through, it's like the sun gets a little bit dimmer. A little bit dimmer. And you eventually see what seems like a pinpoint of light as you go through, between a number of buildings in this place. You pass by what looks like there are a couple of towers that are coming up, and you see this archway that you think you see a little bit of light through far ahead of you. And this is when you hear the voice. And the voice will say, "Were you successful? It seems you are not, as you do not have what was said would be brought."
No. Too many people too suspicious, not successful. I'm guessing you're talking about the clock, correct?
Indeed.
And while saying that, they're just holding their pack of cards to their chest, like trying not to show how nervous they are, but it's coming out anyway.
So I take it your friend made her best effort to fetch the item.
As good as she could do, I believe. He, all of them.
Cal, you are trying to lie to the Shadow Crone, so this is going to require another roll. The pain is still 8. And, again, if you want, you can increase your exhaustion before you roll. You can use 1 to 6 madness on it if you want. Up to you.
Yeah. I would like to use some madness on it, but I'd like to use 3 madness for this.
Okay.
I have
3, 4, 5, 6 successes. Once again. I'm going to roll 8. I got 5 successes. Very close. Got very close. Let's see. I am going to spend a coin of despair to add a 6 to the exhaustion pool. And so that means that exhaustion is dominating. Please increase your exhaustion by 1. As you find that it is... This is... The gloom and the shadow here is almost oppressive. It's almost like a physical thing weighing on you. And the crone, you cannot see her. You do not know where she is, but she very clearly can see you. And so you do say that they all made their best effort to try to get this clock. That is unfortunate. We shall see what the next hour brings then, therefore. You'd best hurry. Things
Yeah.
are going to start moving soon. Very soon. Sooner, perhaps, even than you think. Are you moving at all? Just out of curiosity?
I'm running as fast as I can to the
Ah! You run! You run! To try to get to this archway that you're seeing up ahead.
Hurrying till I heard the bells, and then I ran as I could.
Something odd does happen with it. As you note that there's some kind of, it seems to be shimmering back and forth. And it looks for a moment like it's a solid doorway. And then you note a door opening up within that solid doorway. With, again, there is some warm light from beyond. Are you going to run through?
Yeah.
Okay. I will let you know where you end up in a little bit. Now, let us hop back over to the to the other side of the market district, where it would seem a black hole has just been knocked into a pawn shop, and Tyler has disappeared. And it has just struck 13. There's a little bit of a rumbling from beneath the ground happening now. And Tamsin and Katrina, what are you doing? As you notice this building contorting in front of you, and Tyler is nowhere to be seen.
Katrina,
Yeah,
you also see that? Yeah.
I'm just turning around from the little lottery shop, and I'm like, shit, yeah, that's scary. We don't have time to just sit. We have to move. Apparently,
Tyler's
it's about to
gone.
start moving, and I know. I'm sorry. We gotta move. We gotta move, and we need to run as fast as we can to get to this Denny's, because apparently it's gonna move in like a second. So let's go.
The Tamsin's kind of like hopping, and then she just like commits to it after like a few steps.
And yeah, you just sort of will hear sort of behind you the lottery just sort of is looking and said, things are gonna move more than I thought they were. Look at that. And yeah, so as this is happening, you're going to see that this building, as it's sort of like collapsing in on itself into this little singularity, or thing that looks like a singularity, and the ground is rumbling and shaking. Everyone's just sort of having a little trouble, stumbling back and forth, as you're sort of diving, you're trying to get as best you can, because you got to get, move around to the, like a few blocks in, to make it to the, and I believe they said that it was on the side close to the drama district, if I recall correctly, and you're on that side of the of this. But you will note that the buildings on either side of that building are shaking and are also being drawn close to it. And at that moment, too, you're dashing around, around these buildings. You're starting to try to dodge some rubble that is falling. People are panicking. There's a sudden jolt. And the stars do this very interesting thing just above you, where it's like there's this pattern of stars and they go... they start moving.
Oh shoot. We're getting a what was that show called? Moon Knight Sky Shift?
A little bit. It looks a little bit like that.
The sky.
It looks a little bit. Yeah, it's try turning the sky back on as though on an iPad. It's kind of like that as things are moving around, and I'm going to need someone to make a roll here. The pain of trying to deal, dodging the rubble and trying to get around to a stable position from which to race toward the spot on the map you are looking for is going to be. I'm gonna give it a pain of 4.
How's about I use my exhaustion talent of parkour?
Yes.
Okay.
And then maybe I can also help Katrina. Like just.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we want then Tamsin to lead the role here, and Katrina, you can help if you wish.
I will.
With just your discipline dice. Yeah. And so is this, by the way, Tamsin, is this going to be a major or a minor use of your exhaustion talent?
I think. It's not. Is it major?
If it's a minor use, then you just use the whatever. Then you don't have to increase your exhaustion ahead of time, and you just turn all of your dice, whatever you roll on them in the exhaustion pool, will be successes. If it's a minor use,
okay.
If it's a major use, then instead of that happening, you add however many dice you have in your exhaustion pool to your successes, and you have to increase your exhaustion by 1 before you roll.
Oh, right. I think. Maybe if I want to help Katrina as well, then it'll be a major use.
Yeah, we can do that. Sure, absolutely. So you'll need to up your exhaustion by 1 before you roll. And I forgot to put the macro in here that has the little graphic, so.
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to write myself a little note and hope that I see it in a second.
And I'm gonna use an extra 2 madness dice. I don't think I need it, right? Do I?
Yeah, up to you.
If I have,
You totally can if you want.
just do it.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I am now going to... I'm going to roll the 4 pain. Okay, I have 2 successes. So you have a total of 3 madness dice, so I assume you just upped your 3 exhaustion dice. I assume you upped your exhaustion to 3 just before you rolled? 4.
Oh, isn't it 4?
I only see 3 being rolled in when I mouse over it. Maybe it didn't take. If you want, just roll another d6.
Okay.
Yeah, your pyramid
You also-
exhaustion is 4 right now, so you
Yeah.
did do it. So let's see.
Also got 2 successes from me as
2
well.
successes from you. Okay, you're gonna definitely beat me here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 successes, which you have totally right now. I only had 2. And currently madness is dominating. So for both of you, please check off a response.
Fight. I'm so happy that I took that coin. Otherwise, that would be it. Yeah. Fight response.
What's Katrina checking off?
Also fight.
Also
It's
fight.
The only one I had.
Excellent.
Ooh.
So both of you, as you are racing through, Tamsin is kind of leading the way, bouncing back and forth from building to building as needed to get to the most direct line. Are you using your wings at all?
Yeah, but not too high. I mean, yeah.
A little
to,
bit?
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little
with the, like,
harder
catch the
because,
wind
you've
and
lost
stuff.
a number of feathers at this point.
Yeah.
But you're sort of trying to bounce back and forth, heading there. And so both, the fight response is kicking in for you as you're getting there. So if need be, you're probably, you can, if you wish, be knocking people out of the way, if you so desire. But
Yep. With the wind.
you will see as you come to the corner, you come around to the corner on the outside street, the edge of the market district, which is where this thing is supposed to be. You're going to notice there 3 things are going to be noticed at this point in succession. One of them is behind you and around you, several buildings in this half of this part of the market district are rushing toward that point where the pawn shop was. They're all going, and they're forming like this tower as they're coming together. Other buildings are moving as well. Archways are forming, archways are dissolving. Street signs are popping up, street signs are melting down. The orientation of the streets are changing. The directions of the streets are changing as you're running through them. This is a very volatile 13th hour. The second thing you notice, when you reach the edge, when you reach the street that's supposed to be opposite the drama district, you have to stop for a second because you're looking out into the void of space. The market district, and you look around and you're like, oh, there's the Mad City over there. The market district, the whole district, appears to have catapulted away from the rest of the Mad City and is floating around, trying to gain some kind of purchase. At present, things are shifting on the Mad City as well. You see the sort of the circular Mad City. You see districts shifting around and changing and morphing, just like this one is. There's a point where it kind of turns and sweeps in, kind of closer to what you think is the grid, and you see they're like cubes moving around. This figure glances up, possibly in terror, at the market district swooping by. A figure trapped in a glass elevator, whom we found out all about on Monday. And then the market district rockets away and is trying to sort of catapult into some direction. Gravity stays down, thankfully. But this black hole is seriously messing with this district, you think, maybe, right now. You come around the corner. Go ahead.
I'm just like sitting here, like looking around at everything, like, oh, this is worse than the strongest acid trip.
I don't even know what to make of it.
Where's this building that we're going to? Like, I'm trying to ignore all of that because
You're trying very hard to ignore all of that, and you're turning and you're looking. Things are shuffling around. Buildings are shuffling around right now, like a game of 3-card Monty, or like the game with the walnut shells. And as you look, you see a building in the spot you think is the right spot coming up, and a doorway appears, a rotating door appears in the side.
You think that's it?
I think that might be it. Let's get in there as quick as we can. Even if that's not it, it's gotta be better than the possibility of being sucked into space.
We say as we walk towards it.
Okay.
Yeah, run towards it, but like
run.
as I hit the door and start walking into the actual building, I'm going to try to slow myself to a walk and pretend like this is normal and nothing is happening badly.
Nothing at all. No problems. No
Everything's
problems
fine.
whatsoever.
Yeah,
Everything.
just like dissociate a little bit to
Yeah.
make it look like I'm bored with the situation rather than be overwhelmed.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure everything is fine. These things happen, you know. So, a quick note. So, the first person to arrive in the place we are about to describe was, in fact, Cal. Now, this establishment is under new management and has been getting redecorated. So, it's going to look perhaps a little bit different from the way that I have described it in previous in previous installments of this universe. The Club Absolute, which originally I had stated looks kind of like a speakeasy with places for different instruments to play. It was inhabited by members of the symphony who are just sort of sentient instruments. But I don't know what it looks like now. The only person who can tell me what this looks like now is Alyx. What does this place look like?
Today, I have decided that it looks like black velvet. Like the night. I'm feeling a little dramatic and melancholy today. And there is the echo of what it once was. You can hear it when you stand in the right corners, and if you whisper on one side of the room, someone on the other side might hear what you have to say, or someone hiding in the ceiling might steal that whisper and do something peculiar with it, probably write some very bad poetry. Off to one side, there is a small stage where a creature has been sobbing openly for the past several hours. A small audience sits there, rapt. Occasionally, they applaud, and the crying continues. In another part of the club, there are instruments, there is sound, there is laughter. There is something a bit hollow about it. And when you enter, for the briefest moment, you are the most important person in the room. And you feel it for a flicker of a second, just how special and wonderful you are. And you know there is someone here that will love you best in all this terrible place. But what the price of that love is yet to be determined. But you'll never forget that feeling. That feeling of standing at the top of everything you desire, on the stage, where all eyes are on you. And then they slide away. No one gives a fuck who you are anymore. Welcome to my club. And it was called Absolute. But today I call it Raven. Because it tickles me. Maybe tomorrow I'll call it something else.
Cal, you are the first to enter the Club Raven. How do you react to this?
Well, as they described the feelings, my first thought was they enjoyed that feeling and also felt sad because they knew it wasn't a true wanting that people wanted them. So
Fair.
they walked in and just look around and seat themselves at a bar. And then just ask for a drink. Nothing in particular, just something.
Yeah. Yeah. There'll be a bartender there who will just
Yes.
who will make something for you.
And because it wasn't mentioned, I forgot to mention it before, because they were literally just running, they're a little out of breath.
There's the bartender will just basically will be kind of smiling and just oh please, and is very 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 attentive, and just basically like you just pick me up. What do you need? Anything you need. And
I honestly don't know what you have. Just give me something and I'll pay for it. Don't have the coin, but I do have the money.
we can work that out. Just a sec. Here's something to lift your spirits. And that is being prepared, and your drink is being made. Taking a little time. Calm down, reflect. And you're gonna have this martini glass pushed over to you. And you're going to then see a couple more people are going to dash into the club. And these people are known to you. This is Katrina and Tamsin as they are coming in, and they are going to once again get this feeling.
Ooh.
Yeah. Once Cal sees them, a look of relief just washes over their face. And then, yet again, concerned because they notice someone is not with them.
True.
And I think as I've run in and feel that feeling, there's almost a familiarity about it that washes over me. As someone who is a performer, who does go on stage, who does feel that conditional love that only lasts for as long as you're on stage pretty regularly. And it's just like, honestly, with that description, and then being able to step back into the shadows afterward and everything, I think this place feels like home. And
This
like
is-
my face just goes kind of blank. Like, wow, this is amazing.
It's nicer than a Denny's, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. This is not at all what I was expecting.
Hmm.
It looks like Cal's over. Is that Cal?
Yeah. Hey, Cal, where have you been?
I think the Shadow District.
Ooh. Are you
What
okay?
happened? Are you good?
I'm fine. I managed to lie to the lady.
Oh, the crone?
Yes.
Through my notes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh.
as how the job was going, I said that we couldn't get to it yet. Too many things happening, too many people.
Mhm.
And I think she believed me.
That's good.
Well, honestly, thank you. I was wondering how I was going to get out of that, and I've been pretending like it didn't matter just out of blind hope that it wouldn't. So thank you.
Yeah, I don't know how I got there though. I'm thinking either something weird happened with the turnstiles or she dragged me in, but at least I found a doorway just in time and it led me to here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we we got into some trouble of our own. Uh, Tyler's. I don't even know where Tyler is. I heard him
Yeah.
yell, and then he was gone. But it had something to do with the emptiness. Some people were trying to come after him, and we barely got out of there, and then suddenly a black hole just erupted, and Tyler's gone.
Yeah. I have
Did I miss
no
anything?
idea what that was, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
a black hole just opened in a pawn shop, and then the person we were with disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing that Tyler was gone and they don't know where exactly, Cal's mood is gonna drop considerably.
Yeah. I
But
know you two got along pretty well. Sorry that they just disappeared.
I think it wasn't because it wasn't deliberate. It must have Tyler must have gotten caught up with something, or I don't know. But for now, we'll just assume he found a way back, or he's in the shadow place like you were. That's not good either. I need a drink.
Me
Can I get a
too.
drink? Yeah.
So, yeah. So you're about to catch the bartender's attention, and I think someone is going to come up to them, possibly at this point. If that's
Someone is watching. Let's see what the bartender does.
okay. The bartender is going to basically turn again, and like, welcome. How can I help you?
Hey, can I get your strongest drink, please?
Absolute strength, yes?
Yeah, definitely.
Certainly.
That.
Also,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask if y'all have like an espresso machine back there. I could really use a latte.
I think we can get something together for you.
Awesome. Wait, first, before that, y'all don't happen to have like any alt milks, do you? I don't really do the animal product thing. And I just like maybe some oat milk or some hemp milk or almond milk, something like that.
I'll see what we've got.
Thank you.
At that, a tall creature comes walking over, clothed in black silk and what appears to be pearl droplets sewn into this draped garment. I'm easily 10 feet, depending on the angle, maybe 6. Depends on where you're standing. I step over and around all of you to the back of the bar, and I don't seem to walk through anything, but somehow I'm there. And I put a hand on the shoulder of your bartender, and I lean in and I whisper, "Did you just offer that swill, that absolute concoction that we once served when we were another name?"
But you wanted to get rid of the backstock, boss.
When someone asks for the strongest, they ask for a gift. We do not give them swill from the back.
Okay.
The back is where we leave the things that we wish to forget. Why don't you go back there and count some stock, and I will find you later.
Of course. Sorry. And
I turn to our guests. Go ahead. Go, Jim.
No, he'll turn and just kind of just sort of bolt for the back.
I'll turn to our guests and smile. Greetings. I hear one of you wishes for something strong, and another wishes for something that will keep you awake. Have I heard correctly?
Something like that.
I mean, that's exactly what happened. You have great
Yeah.
great hearing.
Lovely.
I like to. Come on, I like to play things coy.
Mm. And there's something slithering in my voice as I turn, and you hear me moving bottles. And I place some interesting glassware on the counter beside me. One is a tulip-shaped glass with a glass straw integrated with it. And in that I mix a drink that turns cloudy, then gold, then still, and has the sheen of ice on top. And I pluck one pearl from my dress and crush it between my fingers and drop it inside, and I turn and pass it to you and say, "Here is the strongest."
Oh, thank you. Cheers. I'll try it.
I
That's okay. Good. Do you want to try some, Katrina?
I don't really like to share food or drinks with people. Nothing against you. Sorry, it's just personal thing.
I have my own, then lift up my own in the martini glass and takes a sip.
Okay, all right. Thank you for the drink. What's your name?
I am the host.
The host. That's
Judging
cool.
by the command you seem to control, I take it you're important here?
Some might say that. I think I'm important here. Wouldn't you agree that's what matters?
Yeah, that's true. I'm Tamsin.
That's fair.
So, yeah.
Tamsin, lovely to meet you. Pardon me but one moment. And I turn and you hear the sounds of a machine and steam, and you can smell the coffee in the air. And I place before you one small glass cup, and I hold up my hand, and I take one nail, and I run it along my tongue and split it down the middle, and pull a bit of perfect white fluid from it, and flick it in the glass, while holding direct eye contact with you and say, "I hope you find this to your satisfaction. It is hard to find alternative milks here, but I promise you this is organic and vegan."
Okay. Well, I mean, as long as you're consenting to giving it up, that does make it vegan. Sure.
Of course.
Thank you.
Everything in my club is given freely, with consent. We wish only that others enjoy themselves and
Your
walk away
club?
the better for it.
I like this place so far. Are you interested in having some more performers at any point? And at this point, you do notice that I do still have, like, my guitar, like, backpack strung over my shoulders.
We are always looking for new talent. As you can see, we have our established acts, and I gesture to the one that has been sobbing in the corner, now curled in a fetal position against the wall. And then I gesture to the musicians off to the other side. And then we rotate out players here and there. Tell me, are you looking for something permanent or something temporary?
I think it depends on how it goes.
And what is your going rate? How much do you charge for your art?
Well, coming from, you know, the regular space that humans tend to occupy, I don't really get to have a rate. I kind of just play for tips. But if I get to choose a rate, then I don't know, whatever's reasonable, whatever's enough to get me through. That's all I ever wanted out of it.
May I offer some advice?
Sure.
And I step around the bar, and suddenly I am in front of you, and you are looking up while I am looking down because now I'm tall again. You are worth what you decide you're worth, so tell me, what is your art worth? if I wish to have it upon my stage.
Well, I think it's rather priceless. But if I had to arbitrarily assign a number to it,
You don't. Priceless is a price. I can work with that.
cool.
And what about your companions? Do either of them have thoughts of performance with you? Or are you a traveling troupe of some sort? Some kind of, oh, please, not one of those sad Shakespearean things with a little cart running around spouting nonsense.
No musical talent here other than that one. I point to Katrina. We're just travelers. I write. Just try to keep up the stories and make sure people know what's going on. But yeah, Cal, you don't play an instrument, do you?
No, I do tarot, but I never did it for any pay. So I don't know if I'll be quite what this establishment would want.
Have you ever gotten your fortune read, host? Wonderful host.
I do not have my fortune read. I make my fortune. Look around you. However,
Yeah.
It sounds like you are one of words and the other is one of futures. How delightful. I do not know if I have need of a scribe just yet, but perhaps there will be something entertaining of this place that you would enjoy putting to the page one day.
I mean, you yourself seem marvelously interesting. If you ever want a biography written, I'd be happy to sit with you for however long it might take to get your story down.
Well, aren't you sweet? Would you like another drink? This one on me?
Definitely, it's a great drink. You're
Wonderful.
a good host. Great host.
Now, you with the tarot, think on this. People come to a club for many reasons. Some to be entertained, as your friend shall soon entertain us. Others to forget themselves, and others to find their fortune. So perhaps, if you like, you could help some folks figure themselves out. Or perhaps you are too lost yourself. Do you draw your little cards to try and lay a path before you?
I'm not the type to believe that the cards are everything. But it makes some people feel comfort and some people have enjoyment, so that's why I do it. But if you believe this will match your establishment, while my companions are here, I would be willing to do this for the customers.
Wonderful. Well, let me get your friend set up with a stage and then we'll talk. In the meantime, I rap 2 knuckles on the table and the bartender in the back hears it, and whatever you were suffering, you are now allowed to stop and come back. And you know you have a chance to do right and serve our clientele as befits me, or I'll send you back there and forget about you again.
The bartender emerges, and they appear to have. Wait, let me check. Hang on, I gotta check the. Just check the list here. Okay, good. He appears to have. It's like there's down the side of his face. There's this sort of red mark that wasn't there before. It's you're not sure, but it looks like a burn mark that's there, and he's just sort of calmly coming back out, and he's still. It doesn't seem to miss a beat. He comes back every bit as as attempting to be charming, as he was before, and just sort of smiling, and we'll just be present for whatever anyone desires.
And as you emerge, the host turns and gestures to Katrina with the one long nail they use to split its tongue and say, "Come." Which of these stages would you like? The small, and gestures to the corner with the sobbing creature. The medium, and gestures to another side where there are musicians playing. Or the large, which, try as you might, you will not be able to see.
Well, I gotta know my worth, right? Let's go with the large.
Greedy creature. Oh, I like you.
I wouldn't say it's greed. It's confidence.
A fine line between the two, but you would not be an artist if you were not a bit of both. You need that hunger that they call greed. Well, and as I snap my fingers, the lights dim, and the crowd parts, and the entirety of the club is a stage, and in its center, you will stand, and you will perform. And I look at you and say, would you like your payment now or later?
Let's go later. I want you to see what I can do first.
I am curious. All right. And I go and I walk off to the other side and I sit on the edge of the stage and I gesture to the crying artist. And when it turns to look at me, you see it has no eyes. And it crawls forward and sits beside me, and I lean my body against it and wave my hand and tell you to begin.
Excellent. I'm gonna start it off a little ugly. My guitar's been in my case the entire time I've been in the Mad City, so I have to tune. I'm gonna start by doing a quick ear tune, just like like, just check the harmonics, make sure the chords sound right, and then I'm just gonna launch into a song. And I would like to use a major use of my exhaustion talent, performance.
Okay, so this is going to be a case where you are, I presume you're trying to impress the room here in some fashion, yes?
I wouldn't say it's trying to impress.
Okay.
With Katrina, much like with me, getting lost in the moments where your fingers are on the fretboard and just getting lost into the music while letting the music build itself slowly, while starting slow and building more and more on top of it to a point where it's just kind of like fills the room. And I'm not even going to use my madness talent because I'm tapping into the feeling that's already hanging in the air, and I'm playing that feeling.
Okay. And this is going to be a major use of your exhaustion talent, yes? Is that right?
Yes,
okay.
I already increased back up to 4.
Okay. So the pain that you're going to be rolling against for this, as you are measured by this, is going to be, I believe we said it was 7, if I recall correctly, and so this will be. So Katrina, you will go ahead and roll first, and then the host may roll.
I'm just gonna use all 6 of my madness dice too. Just
Sure,
to, feel everything.
Sure, absolutely.
not great.
Okay. Yeah, and Alyx, you can go ahead and roll at this point. I forgot they're using physical dice. So you can go ahead and-
How many do I roll?
7.
All right, thank you.
All right. Does look like I just got 5. And from my pool, oh yeah, no, my pool's not even gonna matter. I only have 1 6 in any given pool, so pain will dominate.
Okay, yeah. So you got
so that's 5.
yeah,
Yeah.
5 successes, which means you're doing 4 better than the 1 success that the host has gotten. So this is going to be a very impressive performance, but pain is dominating, which means that there is perhaps some kind of a cost to this, some kind of pain, something that will hurt in some way happens as a result.
Wow.
And so
I am out of responses.
That's fair. That's fair. Luckily, you don't have to check any more off yet. But we'll. I'd like to ask Alyx, and if you wish, I can help with elaboration. But that's I want to see kind of what do you think. What do you think the response to this is?
In terms of the pain response,
Yeah, you can. Yeah, do you have any thoughts?
it's a bit banal, but I think, given the nature of how one plays the guitar, the plucking and the strumming, there is something in the fingertips that goes from callous to raw, but you play through it because you're an artist and your performance is grand. And your fingers weep upon the stage.
I'm going to just also add in, as because of the way that kind of exchange can happen here in the Mad City, it's kind of almost like a Fae thing, really. One might consider fairy realm type thing, where it's like the effort of it does cause, with as the sort of that feeling. That feeling is there, and the feeling is great. But it does. You also do get the distinct feeling of, like, that moment is a bit of energy sort of bleeding away. It's kind of a result. Doesn't necessarily make you more tired. It's a different kind of thing, but it's like, I don't know. In some ways, this could be energizing, actually. But it's this feeling of one thing being lightly replaced by another. I'll put it that way.
Well, as I'm playing and I'm just lost in it, I do feel the pain of the strings biting into my fingertips, but it's almost at the edge of my senses. Like I feel it, but I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean? And then as I'm playing, and I just get like caught up in the crescendo, caught up in the overarching themes, and just like pushing the music that wants to be played in this space out. And as I come out of it, as I like snap back into reality, I just like notice my fingers are bleeding, and I just look at it and I'm like, oh, it's been a while since that's happened.
And I think as you are ending, and you can play for We haven't said how long this takes. This can be, you can play any, could have played any number of songs up until this point if you wish. But at the end of it, when it is clear that this is the point where you are stopping, there is some uproarious applause that you hear. Before I describe this next thing, I just want one clarification real quick. From Alyx, you had said that you will not see it. Is it not possible to see the audience from this vantage? Is that correct? Or is it...
The implication was the club in all its vastness and all its dark corners that you can't quite see to the end of is the stage. So you're performing for what you see and for those you can't. So for all you know, there are nightmares listening.
Yeah.
Up in the rafters, on radios. I never quite clarified, and you didn't think to ask.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you are on the largest stage I could give you in this realm.
So, there is... Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. So a couple of things are going to happen as a result of this. As this effect, as you're done and you're preparing to, I assume you're going to want to, this is the point where you're going to want to, like, either leave the, are you going to try to, first of all, are you going to leave the stage when you are done? That's something I just want to ask, basically. Sorry, I can't hear you. I think you're muted.
Yeah, my bad. I muted while I was typing and forgot. I imagine if the whole bar is the stage right now, then there is no leaving the stage.
Yeah.
So I imagine
cookie.
Yeah,
do finish playing, and I just like say out loud, "Thanks for listening, everyone," and put my guitar away, and then I just walk back over to the bar and
is there a bar?
Some more of this blood coffee.
Part of the problem is that the whole bar is a stage now.
Oh, there's a bar. Haven't you ever seen someone dance and sing on it?
Oh, that's true.
The whole club is the stage.
That's fair.
But all eyes are following you as you move, and they will stay on you until I raise my hands and I clap.
And then the applause is picked up. And I will say, Katrina, as you are looking around and you start to be able to see the people in the club again, you will see Cal, you will see Tamsin, you will see the host, you'll see the bartender, you'll see a few other of the patrons that you saw before. But there's a rather large swath of the audience now who, as you look out, I would say a good dozen of them, at least, now look exactly like you. And I think we're going to take a quick break there. We will be back shortly. We're going to go to break. And we will see what else comes of this place in just a few moments. See you shortly. We have returned. And we now see that Katrina there is applause for Katrina, and Katrina now sees that a number of the people in this establishment, in the Raven Club, are look very much like her at this point. And they look the thing about it is also they look kind of perfect.
So the same.
Yeah, basically. They look basically the same. The only difference is their fingers aren't bleeding, really. But yes, that's yeah. They're just sitting there. They're standing there at their tables, and they're sitting back down, and they're starting to consume their beverages and what have you.
I
Whoa.
look
Katrina.
over. Yeah. That is really weird. I'm gonna turn to the host. Hey, what's up with that? I just point over my shoulder at the host of Maze.
The host smiles and comes gliding over, pushes the creature back behind it to continue its sobbing performance. And when it approaches you, maybe an inch or two taller, no more. No more looming, no more leering. There is something of respect to its stance and its height. Well, that was certainly entertaining. I enjoyed the flourish.
I appreciate that. I've been playing a lot again recently. You know, life leading up to the Mad City kind of leaves you with a lot of free time.
Well, there are worse things one can do when they've nothing else planned or prepared. If you find yourself bored, and you find yourself itching to entertain, find me. I'll make space for you at my club. Now you mentioned that you would like payment after. Is now a good time?
Now seems like the right time, yeah.
So tell me, Katrina's player, where is the guitar right now?
I think that the case... Yeah, I'm gonna say the case is still open, but the guitar is sitting inside it. It is a soft shell case, so it's mostly hidden. But I think maybe the headstock is still popping out of the case, and it is just in my hand next to me. I'm just have the bottom of the guitar resting on my foot, and I'm holding the top of it so it doesn't fall.
Okay. The host comes behind you and leans forward, does not touch you, but is a breath away and brings their arms around and asks, "May I?"
Sure.
And very carefully, with 2 fingers, plucks and twists and takes one string off and coils it around their finger and takes it back and pulls it through its hair. And then with the other hand, lifts and pulls and snaps. A strand of hair, long and thin, runs it between its lips, pulls it taut, and stretches it along the neck and body of the guitar. And as it pulls back, you could swear it brushed your shoulder Perhaps, or perhaps it was a breeze, perhaps it was a breath. Does it even breathe? And it stands
I think
and says, try it now.
I think as that was happening, because it does feel so intimate, she just like isn't even thinking about it, but feeling your presence behind her. I think she kind of leans back into you a little bit without even without even realizing she's doing it.
Oh,
And she just like looks at you kind of over the shoulder and like, oh, thanks. I'll give it a shot. And I'll
oh, in
pull
that
it
case,
back.
then, while you're doing that, instead, as you're pulling it back, and as you touch the neck of the guitar, I
Mhm.
graze your neck with my long fingers.
Mhm.
And you would not know this, but I do. I can count on one hand the number of awake that I have touched in my very long existence. And what a boon it is to give that to someone. And I only gift it to the most talented, or perhaps the ones that most tickle my interest.
Mm. Okay, yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, shit. I'll pull my guitar out and try to play it a little bit, I guess.
And I will let our lovely game host decide what the ramifications of this gift are, but I will tell you, if I am allowed, that every time you strum it now, you will feel my love, my adoration, my attention,
Oh,
and none other. No stadium, no crowd, no friend, no lover will ever look at you the way I do.
mm, mm,
At least the way it feels when you touch that string.
shit. I think I'm gonna be writing some one-string songs.
The only thing,
Damn.
the only thing I have to add to that is that it's often a very warm feeling.
Mm. Thank you. This is quite the boon. I appreciate it.
Back and perform for me anytime. My stage is always open to you.
I'll do that. Thank you. I
Now
just
you're
like pick up my drink and I just like look at you kind of shyly and nervously sip it using both hands to hold the cup.
Oh, we've reached 2-hand cup holding time.
Me and Cal are sitting at the bar just watching this whole interaction.
Yeah.
Just kind of giggling to each other. No.
What strikes you, Katrina, is that you can feel the moment my attention shifts. And I'm no longer looking at you, or caring about you, or thinking about you. And how that makes you feel is up to you. But I turn my back, and I walk to your friends at the bar, and I ask them, how did you like the performance?
She's good, isn't she?
I've listened to her before, but this was something different, I think.
Maybe the atmosphere, She's not going to play the same thing she plays in the coffee shop, right?
Definitely not.
I'm told the acoustics here are something special. I would say it was passable for one of your sort. Perhaps with time and practice, she will improve.
That makes me want to hear more of the Mad Cities music. Do you have any other people playing later on, or someone that you really like?
Oh, there are so many that I adore, but they come and go, as you yourselves did. Perhaps when you catch this place in another of its incarnations, you will find the music more to your liking. Tonight is a bit of an experimental evening. Find us when we are called Winston. I think that will better suit you. You strike me as the sort that is into smoke and those back rooms where deals are made and stories told.
Yeah, that's definitely what I aim for. Um, this is a great vibe too. How have you been doing this all the time? Did you always want to be a uh amazing club host? And I take out my book and I'm like really like interview style.
I lean over and peer down at your notebook and then look you up direct in the eyes. Are you interviewing me?
More like remembering what you tell me in case, you pass on any nuggets of gold or words of wisdom.
And what is my story worth to you?
I mean, it's definitely a lot. It's worth a lot to a lot of people. I assume you seem like a important person. Yeah. Uh, are you asking me to pay you for this interview? I mean, I just wanted to remember. I wasn't actually trying to, you know, do anything with it. I'm not even an actual journalist, actually, just an assistant. So,
A lot of you. I will ask you again, what is my story worth? And perhaps a better question, do you want to be what you are?
um, your story is worth more than I have, for sure. I just thought I would catch you at a good time, and seeing as my friend made such a great performance, did such a great performance, that maybe you'd feel more inclined to share some of what's made you who you are today. In terms of your other question, I'm sorry. Can you ask again?
You
Your
said
presence
you
is a
are.
bit,
You called yourself an assistant. I called that
Mhm.
thing over there a bartender. I named it, and it is so. You have named yourself and made yourself as such. Why not call yourself something greater? Why assistant? Why did you choose that?
I don't have anything to my name. I've only dabbled in writing. I can't expect to call myself something more than I am, I suppose.
And I lean in so only you can hear. And after that mediocre performance by your friend, she still calls herself a musician. Why do you wait until you are better than what you are to name yourself as something great?
I was never really told to be confident about things I'm not confident in. I don't know. Growing up, it's conditioning, I guess. I don't know. You don't. I don't know. Do nightmares have the equivalent of Asian parents? We're not really expected to be more than what we are, which are just, children of parents.
Hmm. Perhaps there is something for us to discuss, but not here, not like this. When you do find your confidence, when you choose to call yourself a journalist, a writer, someone of worth, I do not waste my time telling things to assistants. You've seen what I do to my assistants. And I gesture at the bartender. I pluck a pearl from my dress, and I weave it and pull it and flatten it into a flat teardrop shape. And when I open my hand, it's no longer white. It is black like an oil slick, and it sparkles in the candlelight. And I pull a strand of hair from my head and flick it into a chain, and I hold it before me to you.
Hmm. Are you a jewelry maker too?
No.
Hmm.
Don't play dumb. You're too smart for that. It does not look good on you.
That is that for me then?
If you want it. You asked me who I am, what my story is. If you would like to know, take this. And when you are
Ooh,
confident, you will have the story you want.
I mean, I'll definitely take it. But what is it worth to you? How much? Would you want anything in return for it?
I would want a story well told, which is why I will not speak to an assistant.
Right, right, of course. Yeah.
So that is the price. And I am patient. I will wait. But I would rather payment up front.
Yeah, of course. I just wouldn't it be a bit obvious if you now I say, oh yeah, I am a journalist and I don't know. Would you tell me put it on? I guess it looks really nice.
I will gladly adorn you with this. And then, if you will allow me, I stand behind you.
Mhm.
And I pull it up at the nape of your neck and I clasp it in the back. I do not touch you as I do this. And I lean forward and I whisper so only you may hear. Your words are vacant. When you called yourself a journalist, you were still calling yourself an assistant, just with different syllables and sound. I will know when you mean it, and I will know when you believe it. If you lie to me again, then I will consider this a contract broken. Now, I have paid you. You owe me a great story. Write it when you can. There is no time
Def-
limit.
Definitely. Tamsin's wings kind of like flutter a little bit, and she just kind of holds her notebook to her chest and just looks at her a little bit like, yeah, definitely. I'll try.
I just
And with
want
the
I just want to mention briefly to Cal and Katrina, who might have the opportunity to see this, that it does seem as though more of Tamsin's feathers are falling out at this point. As her wings drooped for a moment, and then she was as this was happening, and then as they come back out, more of the feathers are falling to the ground.
I'd say if any fall out close to me, I'll just silently pick some of them up and put them in my pocket because I'm curious what will happen when the wings are fully gone.
Yes.
And I've been trying to recompose myself for the past couple minutes during that conversation, but I keep like glancing back at the people who look exactly like me, and I'm kind of just like unable to really move past that. Like it's just in my thoughts, even when I'm not looking at them, I'm like, there's people who look exactly like me right behind me, and I'm unsure of what I can do about this. And I think that it's just like confusion, but also unable to quell those uneasy feelings that were just gifted to me.
The host turns to look at Cal, and then I am before you with a flicker and a blink. And I am looking down at you at my full height. And I smile, but there is no joy in it. And you find me when we are called Princess Darkness, and then we will talk. I see something behind those eyes, and I am curious. I think your hero performance would do well in that incarnation of myself. I mean, my space. And with that, I step behind the bar, and I step to the back, and I leave you to enjoy yourselves at my establishment.
I'm going
Whoa.
to. I'm going to note here that Katrina, every time you look back behind you at them, you sort of give a glance. Another one of them seems closer. Some of them are standing up. They're moving, edging closer to the bar. And they seem to be just sort of, every time you look, they're not like leering or anything. They're just having polite conversation with each other or some of the other patrons, drinking, eating. But every time you look, they're closer.
I'm gonna just like lean into Tamsin and be like, these people that look just like me are just like staring and I don't know what to do about it. And also, goddamn, the host is way too hot. What the fuck is up with that?
Yeah, super hot. Jim, do we see the same thing that Katrina sees, or people that look like her, or is it just
Yes.
her that sees it? Okay.
Yes, there are
Yeah.
several people. Now that you look, you see they've formed this kind of semicircle around the three of you. Where you're up against the bar.
That's
And they're
that's
all
not weird at all.
They all look like Katrina and they're all smiling at you.
I turn and look at them. Hello?
I'm gonna take out my pen
Hello,
and
they say in unison.
be like, Katrina, can you give me your hand for a second?
Yeah, here you go.
Gonna draw like a big X on it just so I know which one's the real one. Yeah.
And they say, when they say this, it's kind of not the same one saying each line each time. It's always a different one, usually, speaking up. Some of them are sort of stepping closer, just sort of in a friendly fashion. They will say, "It was absolutely lovely. And we want to make sure that what you have here is preserved. That was so good. So good. Some of the best stuff we've ever heard."
Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's great. It's always nice meeting fans. What do you mean by preserve it?
Well, moments are hard to keep going. They fade, don't you find? If you don't have any help to preserve them.
I mean, that's life though, isn't it? Every moment fades. If they didn't, then what would be the point?
What if it didn't have to? And they're edging closer. The semicircle is starting to close up a little bit.
Backing up as they're moving closer.
There's a bar behind you.
Yeah, there is. Well, like, if every moment were held on to, so I feel like people trying to hold on to moments so unscrupulously is where a lot of pain in this world, well, in any world, comes from.
Oh. It's really the question of using what bits you want to keep. And and another of them says, "Yes, you've gotten along so well with one of our newer members. And we think that maybe you'd be an excellent candidate for membership if you're interested." If you want to hold on to these moments, it's entirely up to you. But we can make sure that you retain whatever amount of glory you want. Let us show you.
Yeah. It's not that I'm uninterested, because I am interested. Getting away from the waking world, so to speak, sounds great. Life's basically impossible there. But at the same time, holding on to pieces of moments, I'm not sure how into that I'd be. If I pause a moment, will that stunt my growth as a performer, as whatever I'd be stepping into? Will I still be able to improve if this happens?
Oh, you can change. Oh, well, yeah, it's not static necessarily. You can change what bits you like. Yes, yes. And one of them, and the other says, one of the ones at the end says, yes, you've met Isabel, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Membership has done her wonders.
Is she okay?
She's better. She's better
Oh.
than she ever was. Her best
I mean,
possible self.
Oh,
when we left her, she was fighting for us. Is she okay?
Oh. They, one of them just sort of will look over and decide, when things settle down, we'll probably know more. She can handle herself. We're quite sure. And,
oh.
go ahead.
No, from the side, I guess, if Tamsin heard that, which I guess that she did. You guys are the Secret of Angles?
Society of Angles. Absolutely.
Society. Why did I write secret?
Yeah.
Okay, no, it's
But we know the secrets of Angles. It's
Mhm.
so good. So good. Harder to do during this hour, but it's very good. We can show you that too. And actually, a couple of the ones that you've addressed on the end transform. It's kind of like when you see a mirror shift, a turn, and the light changes on it, and they turn into you. With a couple of exceptions. In that Tamsin, they look like a more idealized version of you, and their wings are perfect.
Oh. Oh. I look at my own a little bit like.
Yeah, you realize, oh crap, these things are starting to come apart a bit.
Oh.
During this, I
We
just
could-
turn to Katrina and say, "Who is Isabel?"
Oh.
You disappeared, and there was a person who was multiple people, and then one person, and then multiple people again, who kind of helped us get this far.
I see.
Yeah, they were super nice. I think you would have liked them, Cal.
Maybe. I don't know. Never met him.
Seemed like a good egg.
And-
And they
Said she was part
seemed
of
to be
the
able to hold
society.
on to who they were through whatever it is this is.
So, As one of them starts getting a little uncomfortably close, you're going to see sort of on the bartender is going to come back up and just be like, to them, the one in the end. So, we told you. We aren't the ones who were here before. You can't just do that. And they just sort of smile at him.
I look at him and I say, "What do you mean? What's all this?"
And he just sort of as he's just sort of looking at them, he just sort of looks, just without looking in your direction, but you can tell he's talking to you. He says, they have, sometimes they get a little aggressive in their recruitment. And you can see he kind of raises his hand. You see in the corner, there is someone who is dressed very similarly to the bartender, but looks actually kind of Minotaur-like, almost, basically. He has kind of the head of a bull. He just sort of stands up and sort of straightens his uniform. So sort of crosses his arms. And the one that's sort of closest to Katrina will just sort of back up and just say, "Well, that's fine. Doesn't have to be here. You don't have to make. It's all up to you." So saying again to Katrina, "Make your own decisions." And the one next to Thames and one's next to Thames say, "You too. Your own decisions." They're starting to back away. There's a violent shudder as you all feel the district thudding into place. And
I'll let you know.
And they will very adeptly produce a business card. It will just appear in their hand. And they will set it down on the bar next to you. They will nod and smile. They start backing away. And the one... Sorry, yeah? Tamsin had something?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to, if I could, talk to the bartender again and, just shimmy up and ask, what faction or what alliance is the host in?
He just holds up his hand for a second as he's watching these mirror creatures. They step back, and they sort of are like they were jostled a bit when the bar landed. They step back, and the one closest to you, who is also stepping back, just kind of says, "You want to see something cool?" They sort of wink. They all step back into the far corner and collapse into it and vanish.
I pick up the card and I just tuck it into my pocket.
And the bartender says to you, "Our host belongs to no faction. Our host is its own boss."
That's cool.
Yeah, I'd hate to be whoever tries to be its boss.
And he slowly starts sort of wiping down the bar. You see the Minotaur-looking guy in the corner just sort of kind of shakes his head and just kind of goes back to what he was doing. He just sort of stops being on guard. You see people are starting to kind of file out as 1 o'clock has struck. Bartender just sort of starts wiping things down again. Starts wiping the bar. It's like, is there anything else I can get for you folks? It's, just so you'll know, it is possible the bar is about to move again in a moment. It doesn't always do it just on the hour. It does what it will.
Tamsin will turn to Cal and Katrina and say, this was different than what we had anticipated, but what do you think we should do now?
I'm honestly not sure. We still have no leads on any way of getting it out. And
other than opening the doors, right?
Just checking doors for who knows how long and seeing where they'll take us. But we
do have something that can help, but we were warned before. If it'll truly be good, and then I'll hold up the card. Oh, I placed it far away. I'll hold up the card that leads to the stranger.
That's true.
When the stranger was talking to us, they said that it might not be them, but a different incarnation of them. That might not be as friendly, and if they look hungry, we better run. So maybe I don't know if that's a good idea.
Maybe we should just use it in a
emergency, like they said. Yeah. I don't know. I look over at the bartender. Do you have any way of getting a map of what the city looks like now?
Oh, it just settled, and it's probably going to look quite different. They probably will have to. I think it'll probably be a couple of hours before we have an immediate picture necessarily. Maybe an hour or two. Usually they try to get them up at the newsstands as soon as they're able to. Most major newsstands will probably have it. The only other way I could think is if you want to try and contact someone who's got a view of everything in the city, but those tend to be few and far between. The fellow the former, he just sort of stops before he says anything.
Yeah, the former.
Nothing. I misspoke. I'm going to ask you briefly if you want to get this information out of this individual. There's going to be a pain rating on it.
Oh, our sweet talker is gone. Tyler is gone. There's no.
That's true. Yeah.
Talent.
Unfortunately, the person who's best at this. But then again, you don't get a lot of solid information with him anyway, because everyone thinks you already know what you're talking about. But let's see. The pain rating is probably going to be for this. Honestly, the pain rating is probably going to be 6.
Well, considering the conversation,
it would be a 7, but the host isn't in the room.
Yeah. Considering the conversations that we've had here, and especially the conversation about my coffee drink, everything done here, should be done with consent. So, if the bartender is not willing to talk to me, I would not push for that information.
Well, yeah, it's a question of like, yeah, it's hard to tell whether like this is just something that he. Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, like I said, it's up to you. It's up to you really how you want to how you'd want to tackle this. But he seemed to stop himself before he felt that he was misspeaking.
Well, hey, thanks for giving us a place to be for a bit. I appreciate it. I'll be back for sure. This place is nice.
Yeah, we gotta come back
Yeah.
for, what was it, Winston and what was
Mhm.
the
I
other
need
one?
to come back for
Princess Diary.
the host. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
I just
yeah,
like
I think
hold my guitar and like hold on to the string,
Yeah.
just like rubbing it between my fingers as I'm just
Yeah.
thinking.
So I think that as you're leaving, or as you're getting ready to leave, and yeah, this is a question of like, oh yes, that's true. You have a tab that will need to be settled at this point. Does the does this new iteration of the bar accept wax coins, or does it or is something else going to be needed?
Well, for this iteration of the bar, the host would be willing to consider Tamsin's drink part of the advance that it has already given to be repaid in full at some other time. Katrina has more than sung for her supper. So the only one that needs to settle up is Cal. And no, this iteration does not accept coin. You've seen what we take here.
The Wax King will remember this. Okay. Yeah. So he will. The bartender will. Will kind of as you're sort of putting things together, and he'll kind of will sort of look over. Is Katrina wearing any sort of jewelry or anything like that?
Let's say she has a nose ring, because why not?
Do you have do you have any this is gonna get interesting. Nothing on the hands or anything?
No.
Okay.
Gotta keep the fingers loose and free for playing.
So the let me see. Can you once again remind me what type of jacket or outer garment Katrina is wearing?
Oh, just like this one.
Just like that one? Okay.
Yep.
So
that's why as you're for this game.
So the bartender will look over and he will sort of be looking at one of your patches, one of the patches on the jacket, and he says, "Oh, incidentally, before you go, that is He gives you sort of a knowing look of some kind. He's like, that is a fascinating thing. May I?
Touch, don't take.
He nods. We'll reach over and just stroke the side of the patch. What is this a patch of?
Let's see. Maybe we bash back?
We bash back? Okay.
Yeah.
So, for a moment, he'll keep his voice very low as he's saying this. He's just sort of stroking the edges of the patch. And something's happening to the patch a little bit. You're not sure what. He says, what I can tell you is that while we have much higher standards than the previous owner of this establishment, he has a considerable amount of reach and sees quite a lot in the city as it is happening. So that is one option for you. But
Can you
take
say that again really quick? Sorry.
He says, well, if you are, you really only need to find the right monitor or billboard. And you'll know soon enough if he's seen you. And he probably has after that performance. Just be wary. Because
Do you have their names so I can know who might be looking for me?
yes, he says, and now you do too. And he sort of takes his hand away from the patch, and he'll say, but keep in mind, our deals here are much better than any he's going to want to give you. And he will back up and start working. And you notice something sort of odd with the patch. It's sort of it's like the back of it, the background of it is turned into, and it's only really when you look at it closely, it's like it's moving television static in the background behind the letters.
That's cool.
And the bartender will turn to Cal. Well, actually, he'll look at Thames and he says, "Your advances was included. You're fine." Look at Cal. Well, we can have a tab for you if you're coming back.
I don't know when we'll come back, if at all, so best if I pay it now.
I see. Okay. That drink there?
Mm-hmm.
One of your most beloved sights.
One of my most beloved. But then Cal would just think back to their memories and think, what did I see that I know is the most beloved?
Yeah.
And then they will take off a bracelet they have that has a K and a couple other letters. And then they will hand them to him. The most beloved, and then just say, one of my most beloved sights was the look on the face of my friend when they gave me this and I gave them something else in return.
Are you actually handing over the bracelet? Or are you giving...
Handing over the memory associated with the bracelet.
Okay. So you can either invest it into the bracelet or you can move your hand forward and something else will appear in your hand to represent it.
I'm gonna invest in the bracelet since without that memory, that bracelet would seem useless.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. So the bartender takes it, sort of nods, as you feel this memory bleeding away. And he says, "Ah, yes. Oh. Oh, I see. Well, I hope this helps you to find solace. Because perhaps it's, and he doesn't say this, but perhaps it's not as bad if you just give up that piece of your friend."
Yeah, Cal's eyes will just turn huge, but they will not say anything to that.
All right. Well, good luck out there.
Everything settled up? All right. Should we head out? Any last things we want to do?
Yeah, I suppose it's as good as time of any to well, I think we should wait for that bell to ding one time. Or did it already do that?
Yeah, it did. It rang 1 o'clock.
Okay, cool. Well then, yeah, I suppose now's as good of a time as any to take off. I don't
Explore?
know where we're going, but let's explore for a bit. Yeah.
Do you think the host would know how to get out of here?
Maybe.
Oh, she's.
How much is that information worth, though?
Oh, that's definitely what they'll ask. Not much. I mean, I'm happy to explore just as much as I am to go back.
I mean, honestly,
but yeah.
Today has been ups and downs, but I kind of like it here. You kind of know exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah. How? Well, do you like it here too?
This is definitely one of the better places we've been. Yeah, I do.
I genuinely mean the Mad City in general. I think life is more of a nightmare than this place.
I wonder what the host meant when they talked to me about discussing with. I'm not remembering the full words correctly, but talking about Princess Darkness.
That's the club, I think.
Yeah, I'm saying that as Cal. I just forgot what the host said specifically.
I think she was just saying that the next time we come, the club might be more geared towards something that we can help with.
Directed to Cal specifically, so.
Yeah.
I guess next time we come, it might be Princess Darkness, it might be Raven, as it is now, or it might be something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think we need to come to a consensus. Are we trying to leave the Mad City, or are we staying? And if we stay, then what? Are we residents then? Do we just join the neighboring associations and, help with garbage and recycling every other week?
You got me.
I mean,
Honestly, right now I'm feeling staying. But
should we look for
I
a
want
place?
to help y'all get out if you want to, before I find a place for myself.
both in here and out there, it feels strange living. There's so many dangers both ways. Here, it's just more apparent about what can kill you. I don't know. Because I like life out there, but here, I know what people want more often.
I think we can come back, right? Wasn't someone saying that?
Yeah,
Like, if we
someone
leave,
was.
we can always come back.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we can know how we can come back. Probably the same way we came here in the first place.
I wonder
I
how the
mean-
coffee shop is now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you think Rage is okay?
I don't know.
Oh, are you folks
But
having
out
this
there-
conversation inside still, or have you gone outside?
I
think
was imagining walking and talking, but I don't know.
I was imagining like we're by the door getting ready to head out and just like discussing like what we're doing and where we're going before we actually
we,
step
won't we?
outside.
Yep.
Yeah.
You will note outside, Katrina,
Mhm.
a lamppost is now outside. It was not outside before. And as you sort of glance out, as you're sort of having this conversation, you will see a threadbare raven lands on the lamppost and is looking in at you.
I think the procession might have found me.
It has a it has a little card in its beak.
Whoa. The bird's got a message.
You just gotta.
All right, well, let's get to it then. I walk outside.
Okay. Are the rest of you accompanying Katrina outside?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to do a quick thing. I'm going to come back to the three of you outside because some things are going to happen. But
You shouldn't have gone outside.
but I think we are going to stay in the bar for just a second. Is that correct?
Just a moment.
Yes.
After they're all gone,
Mm-hmm.
the host will step up behind you, the bartender, and place one clawed hand, an angry-looking hand, sinewy hand on the bar, and you know I am displeased with you. And I loom over you and look down. That was a mediocre performance that you accepted in terms of our currency from Cal. We've talked about this. Your standards are too low. Next Cal is here, they still owe us a debt. That barely paid for the ice in their drink. Do better. I tire of training new bartenders.
And he's not going to say, I don't think he's going to say anything. He will just sort of bow his head. He will offer up the bracelet that Cal paid their memory of, though.
I take the bracelet and I crush it in my hand, and it falls to dust between my fingers. We don't take payment in trinkets. We have talked about this. It is the art, or the coin, or the debt. And here we do not take coin at Raven. So Cal has paid with a debt and a poor performance.
He's not going to say anything. He's just going to nod with his head down.
Do not know why I keep you around. And I turn my full height and walk away.
And I think that the only other thing we're going to see then is that the Minotaur-looking bartender in the corner sort of sighs, shakes his head, starts just sort of punching into his fist, and slowly walks over. And that fades to black. We don't see how that interaction ends. Outside. As you're looking around, first off, your patch sort of buzzes a bit. And you can sort of see from where you are. Let me actually wait. Let me look at the market district. Oh, okay. Yeah. Things look a tad different here. Across the street from you, on this side, you're not sure exactly where you are in the city at this point, where this district has landed, but you see off to the other side, it looks kind of weird and sort of strange, sort of alien-looking statues and spires and a lot of neon and sort of strange cyberpunk nightmares across the street in the district next door. Looking at this, hang on, let me fix this real quick. Make sure I'm looking at the right thing so that we have everything where we need it. Yes, right about there. Okay, good. But you'll note that the same static is not on that side. You don't notice it anywhere in that district. But over here, you do see like a billboard toward the end of the street, and it has similar static on it to the kind that's on the patch. And you will notice as you go through every now and then, you'll see billboards that have similar static to what's on there. The Raven will bend down as you are approaching to give you this note.
I take it.
Okay. It's actually in a little envelope. Sort of an sort of expensive looking, almost a sort of invitational type envelope. And yeah, you open it. It's not too hard to open it. You open it and you pull it out. And it's there's a little there's a card inside, and it says, "It seems," and it says in flowing handwriting, "It seems I am in your debt. These are things I settle quickly. Meet me at the main at the main anti-clockwise intersection. Is that where it is? Wait, Jim has to remember. Clockwise, sorry. At the main clockwise intersection of the market district, where I shall have business. At 1:30. And we will talk, and I will grant you a boon.
I look at it and I'm just like, oh, sick. I guess betraying the crone was a good idea. And I
It's
put
just-
that in my pocket.
Yeah, and it's just signed with a dash and the letter M. And as Katrina says that, pocketing the note, Cal will note a maybe just slight. Where do you keep your deck of cards on you?
I keep it at inside pocket of my jacket that's close to my heart, but not quite.
Mm-hmm. Feel this slight sort of. It feels almost like there's this seeping moisture, and this sudden weight to that pocket.
I'll take out my cards and look at them.
You look through your cards. You notice this darkness. It's almost this like shadow in your pocket. It won't seem to. It's weird. Maybe it's okay. You look through your cards. You notice that the sun is now eclipsed. And I think that's actually where we're going to leave off for this week. So, we are going to go around and do our outros for this week. We are dangerously close to the end of the arc. As we seem to see as it seems that the majority of our folks here seem to want to hang back and stay for a bit. We'll see how things go. We're going to go around and again, in our outros, folks can feel free to tell us where they can find you and any final thoughts you had about this session. Or plug anything you like, any information you would like to provide, totally up to you. We're going to start with Alyx. Thank you so much for coming and being the host here.
Amazing.
Thank you all so much for having me. I had so much fun. I am again Alyx, they, them. You won't find me on any social media, but I do love playing games every now and then, so you'll catch me on the occasional stream. And I was delighted to play your host, the Nightmare, today.
Yay! No, that was so good. That was so good, and exactly the kind of energy I wanted to pull in here for this. Perfect! Absolutely perfect. Thank you so much. And now we are going to go over to Cassa.
Hello, I'm Cassa. I play Tamsin, your awkward assistant journalist. Hopefully not assistant for very long. I'm mostly on here, except I think I have one thing on Lost Caravan next month, Wild Sea. It's like the third part of our little mini campaign. It's pretty interesting. Like, it's pirates, but not on the sea. It's in the trees, because the trees have overgrown the earth, and now there chainsaw boats and ships and stuff. It's really cool. But other than that, yeah, I'm wilding underscore on Twitter. I will post whatever I do over there, and I really love these long campaigns where I'm learning a lot, and not only about the characters but also new characters. And yeah, Alyx is amazing, Jim is amazing as always, and Krimsin and Ace are just, the best kind of people you want to
We're
be
fine.
doing this with. Yeah, mediocre. Yeah, so that's me. Thank you for watching, and yeah, thank you for playing with me.
We slowly are all become the host. And oh, this is great, but it could have really been better. Anyway, we're now going to go around to Ace.
Hey, I'm Ace. I play Pal. I'm only on here, so a bit hard to find me elsewhere. And I'm just super excited to keep playing with this whole group, and I can't wait to see where the two cliffhangers that both just involve Cal directly go. And I wonder, will Cal's biggest secret that I keep on hinting about be revealed, or will it just stay in the dredges forever?
I feel as though we'll know soon.
Yeah. Be happy to play for all of you next time this game is up.
Awesome. And finally, over to Krimsin.
Hey y'all, I've been Crimson Galaxy. Well, no, I've been Katrina Wales. I am Crimson Galaxy. Pronouns are they, them, she, and they. And you can find me on a few places online. I'm still on Twitter for now, and I'll probably ride it into the ground. It should only be alive for another couple months, probably. But yeah, you can find me there at sin_gal. You can find me here on Twitch and on Instagram at crimson_galaxy_RPG. As for the games I've got coming up this week, on the 2nd, on Monday, you can find me playing Cyberpunk Red, a little Cyberpunk Red campaign over on Cybernation Uncensored at noon Pacific. On Wednesday, you can find me back over on Party Wipe Games, picking up our Things from the Flood campaign. I think we're only a few episodes out from the end of season 2, which is, kind of intense, considering, we just played the 2 seasons essentially back to back with a 2-week break in the middle. And it's a great game. It's super fun playing with great people there. And then on Thursday, I will be back over on So Matty Games with some Call of Cthulhu actual play at 4:30 p.m. Then Friday, you'll catch me back here with more of this.
Excellent. Yes, no, this has been such a delight to run this whole thing, and to bring in guests and just to see where everything goes. I just am very pleasantly surprised every time just to see how things happen. It's just a wonder. So, who indeed am I? Well, for the time being, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on Twitch, Twitter, Hive, Mastodon, and most other social media platforms. Where I'm not OtherDoc, I'm Jim Yes That Jim. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, YouTube channel, and various other things. So on Sunday, at about 3 in the afternoon, Eastern Time, we are going to be doing a demo of a game that I've been working on for about the last year or so. I finally decided to let the public see it. Heavens help them. It's a game called 1 Year Hence. It is descended from the Queen, and it is basically inspired by the tale of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. We're doing it on New Year's Day for thematic reasons. as that's kind of the whole gig there for that story. And I'm really looking forward. I feel like it's getting very close to where I want it to be. We've still got a few things to sort of kick around with it and figure out, but we're getting there, I think, tentatively. But we're gonna play it here on Sunday, and hopefully and give folks a chance to take a look at it and see what they think. So very excited for that. On Monday, of course, we are back with the other group for our Don't Rest Your Head campaign, the Inner Circle. They are currently, the party is split, but they're both underground at this point, so we'll see if they meet up with each other. They're also very close to their end. As these things are happening, they half the party has been given a mission by the Wax King to try to find out the source of a river that has suddenly appeared in the city. And well, anything about that, is any of that related to what's happened here? Well, we'll see, won't we? There are some connections, but we'll see where things end up. But we'll kind of we'll play with it and see what happens. And then, of course, on Wednesday next week, we should hopefully finally be back to our Dune campaign, House Versailles, as our house of totally not spies. We are absolutely just arts educators. We have nothing to do with spycraft. But we're having to deal with a house that's declared vendetta on us, and so there's a lot happening there. So looking forward to that coming back with Brian GMing. And then, of course, 1 week from today, The Outer Veil. And we will see how everything finally shakes out. I am really looking forward to it. Well, folks, in the meantime, we're going to, I'm going to go ahead and probably send a raid over to one of the other channels out here. Ascender is back streaming again. It's been a while. So I'll probably go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you're so inclined and say hi to them with us. That'll be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.